So I had to rip that sucker off. That was melted down to the box here, but just assessing the damage further here. You can see in there the air lines and stuff. But all I got done so far is I took the terminal nuts off. Gonna get all new everything in here. Get me a new box ordered, and gonna have to do this outside instead of in the shop because we got no air. Can't turn truck on, build air. I can cage the brakes, drag it in the shop, but I got nobody to help me do that. So guess we'll be doing this out on the gravel lot here. Alright, day one looks like this is as far as I'm gonna get. Ripped out all that wiring. Got the 2 melted batteries out. The other 2 were intact yet. And battery box. I had to cut parts with a Sawzall to get the hold downs because they were melted to the batteries. But let's look in here. Here's what it looks like in there. I got melted ABS right here, melted air hoses. This is the suspension dump, and I think this one is goes into the differential for the axle lock. And got some, I pulled back this loom here. I got some melted air lines here, and then just all this, boy, that's a lot of wiring I got to do. So this is gonna take a while, but as long as I got this apart, I might as well just go through everything in here and make sure there's no rubs. And all right, so day 2, we're ready to get ready on reassembly of this thing. So you can see here, I already did the 2 air lines. I just ended up splicing them because of like time. I ain't gonna redo the whole truck at this moment. So the 1/4 inch I did with compression fittings because they're just better. Once I put that battery box in, I'm not going to be able to get at these anymore. They're tucked down in the frame rail. And then this one goes to my, what does that go to? My suspension dump. And then this one down here goes to my power divider. And then I got these electrical wires here that go to my ambient air temperature sensor. That's way in the back between the frame rails. And then I got this 1/3/8 line here that I forgot to get 3/8 hose and fittings for, so I'm gonna have to go get that. We'll do that in compression also. And then I got plastic loom, this stuff here, going to re-tidy this up real nice so there's no rubs in there. And then we'll be able to start piecing back together battery cable here. There's a couple of them here. I wasn't gonna reuse anything. There's a couple here I'm gonna reuse. This big positive, nothing happened to it, but I am going to take and cut the end off and put a new end on because that's just a little sketchy right there. See that? And but most of them are going to get replaced. These wires over here that go to the ECM those are pretty roached, burnt up pretty bad. And then here's the cables I pulled off. You can see the jumpers are all melted, and the big main ground right there is just burnt up. The battery box. And check out the old batteries. They melted pretty good. That's just 2 of them. The other 2 didn't melt, but they're junk nonetheless. I had to wait a little bit, order some parts. Got about everything I needed from finditparts.com. And yes, I did pay for them. They did not give them to me for free to sponsor this, but I did use my own discount code of DIY Semi. Saved $20 off my order because I had a pretty good order, but their prices were cheaper than Freightliner. Had pretty good luck there. And as long as I got this out, we're gonna just go through all the hoses and stuff over there and, you know, check for rubs and all that stuff too. Just make everything good for the long run here. Got my buddy here helping me. He's getting ready. We're gonna splice some wires in addition to crimping all the battery cables. Also gonna solder the ends just because I want to. All right, we got the air lines and that electrical line fixed. Everything's bundled up nice and tight here. So we're ready to put the new box back in. We got, as you can see, we put new ends on a lot of those. Some of them we put new wire in. Some of them are pretty much untouched by the fire. So for now we're going to leave those because that's going to be quite a job. But that wire there goes through the passenger side of the box, and the rest of these come through the driver's side, which is kind of sucks. That's a lot of wires to feed through there. So basically, we're just going to set the box back in. It goes on these 4 mounts here and bolt them down. Then we can start putting batteries in, feeding wires through. Well, this ain't going too bad. Got the batteries in, got the hold downs on them here, and started feeding the cables up through the front of the box there, over there, and the rear of the box. And we're going to get ready to start hooking them up here. And then I got to transfer this screw part for the lid onto this one. But we'll get these all hooked up, and then we'll test fire, see if she's going to go. Alright, we're ready to test fire this thing. Now you'll notice it still is kind of a mess in here. I'm not going to bother to tidy it up until I know everything is 100% right. And I'm also leaving the inverter and the APU unhooked for the time being, in case there's an issue and I got to sort something out. I know they're not interfering. And we didn't have enough black cable, so we had to use some red where it should be black. But what we did was, at the end of the cable, the color corresponding for the shrink tube, you see right here, red cable with black shrink tube, so we know that that's a negative cable. So we're all ready here to test fire up this baby, see if she's gonna run. Check, make sure we got nothing sparking in the battery box. We're good. Just making sure nothing was touching or whatever. Yeah, so all I got to do is tidy this up, put her all back together. I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow to do that though, because I got to go get some things done. Well, here is for the most part finished product. I still didn't hook up my inverter because I have to order another fuse block for that. I did have get a fuse block for the APU and hook that up. Inverter, I don't really intend to use that near future anyway, so I just got to order that fuse block and then the fuse, and then just wire that to power, and we're done. Put the loom on everything I wanted on, and zip tied everything up nice. And I also went on about a 500-mile trip. When I came back, I went through and make sure everything was still tight, and there's one I had to just snug up a little bit. Other than that, she's done. She's good to go, and get back to trucking.